Welcome back to Ohio Weddings. I'm here with Micki Dudas from AAA Travel. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here, Julie.
Yes. Can we kind of talk about the top wedding destinations this year?
Absolutely. And, you know, it's so exciting to help people plan a honeymoon. And, of course, the destinations that probably come to mind is warm weather destination, beautiful beaches. So out of our area, really, the Punta Cana down in Dominican Republic is extremely popular. It offers a lot of affordable choices and affordable luxury, which is important for honeymoon couples. Another destination, of course, is Cancun, the Riviera Maya, that area. Again, it offers plenty of activities, sports, lots of different type of restaurants. And of course, honeymoon couples are looking for all-inclusive resorts, and then some look for boutique type of resorts to stay.
Mm-hmm. Now, as far as like the hurricane season, do you have some locations that you would recommend during that time?
Absolutely. Of course, you know, when people tend to come in and they say, you know, we're looking at getting married and maybe from July through October, which is traditionally hurricane season, we're going to make some suggestions. And if their heart is set for a Caribbean honeymoon getaway, we go to the ABCs, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. They are the most unlikely to ever experience a hurricane. The islands themselves are pristine. They offer, you know, all the amenities that you see in the other Caribbean islands, but without the risk of having to navigate a hurricane potential.
Yes, I remember being in New York recently, and that's when Hurricane Sandy.
I have to tell you, we don't normally think of hurricanes hitting that far north or into the United States, but hurricane season obviously can strike during that season, so we do work with honeymoon couples to try to minimize that as being a risk.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk a little bit about insurance in cases like Hurricane Sandy or, you know, other things
all
that
the other
might
things.
Happen.
You know, people tend to think if they're going on a honeymoon, there's nothing that's going to prevent them from going. They're in love, and you know, they're going on their honeymoon despite anything. The fact of the matter is there's a lot of things that can prevent you from going on a honeymoon. Some that you can't anticipate. Weather, of course, but you know, there's medical conditions. We've had one case where a house was flooded. So taking the precaution of taking insurance out is a wise and prudent investment because some honeymoons are expensive, you know, $3,000 to $4,000 or $5,000, which you cannot easily replace. So when we work with honeymoon couples, we give them all the benefit and the knowledge that we have of why it's a good investment for them to consider trip cancellation and interruption insurance.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Now, as far as cost-saving tips, what kinds of things would you recommend for those couples who maybe are cutting back maybe on the honeymoon and
Right. You know, there's a honeymoon for any budget. You know, we see everything from a little bungalow getaway to, you know, a very expensive excursion to, say, Croatia, to Europe. But there are things you can do to minimize and work with your budget. In some cases, it's simple as choosing to leave maybe on a Monday as opposed to leaving on the weekend. That can help provide some savings for your airfare. Another tip, everybody, you know, they fall in love with these ideas of all-inclusive resorts and where they can travel to, but sometimes it's looking at the resort and the all-inclusive. If you're not a golfer, then maybe that's not a resort that you should look at because obviously you're going to be paying a per diem for golf benefits, or if you're not a tennis player. So in that case, that can minimize some of the costs that you really don't need to spend. Sometimes the all-inclusive resort is not really what fits your vision of what your honeymoon is. If you're into the water sports, but maybe you're not going to scuba dive. So I'd like to say that we tailor and customize a honeymoon based on the budget. And of course, your travel agent, which you're really, I guess, getting, is the value and benefit of their knowledge and their expertise. We're going to help sort through all the definitions of the destination and where you really want to maximize your dollars for the honeymoon.
Yeah, and it's funny because I just met a videographer recently who does destination weddings, and he was talking about all the couples who wanted sunset weddings and they had it on the East Coast. They weren't really thinking.
Right. And again, it illustrates why you want to work with a travel professional or another professional. You know, honeymoons are too important to mess up. So that's where it's wise, and so many times our services are free. So you're well advised to shop and come to a travel agent. You know, most of our honeymooners are referrals. I love it when I hear that we've had generation of honeymooners. You know, you help my parents' friends or their anniversary, and that's really how we acquire a lot of our honeymoon couples that come to AAA.
Yes, I find it very interesting what you talk about with the benefits of using someone from AAA, because many times couples are using just websites. And
you know, and it's just, in all honesty, a website can be navigating like a brochure, something like this. The brochure has the pretty pictures, but you may not realize how many times properties change ownership. Maybe there's renovations. Again, these are the things that your trusted travel professional is going to provide you, is that information.
Yes, I find that that's very important. I mean, no one wants to have their special day. They want it to be exactly what they anticipated.
And as much care as you know, couples plan their weddings, or if it's a wedding destination, honeymoon is extremely important, and the travel professional is going to help you navigate those details to ensure, as much as we can, a hassle-free but a flawless and memorable honeymoon.
Yeah. Now, where can they get more information, like some of the brochures,
Sure.
or maybe even set up an appointment?
And you know, again, thank you for that. Appointments are so important, and we really do feel that our honeymoon couples really need to spend the time. AAA.com is the website they can visit, get some general information, and then that can give them, if they don't already have an affiliation with a AAA travel professional, travel agent, they can get a referral. The honeymoon couple, though, we'd like to invite them in, hopefully to sit down and spend some time to qualify really what they are seeking and what they're looking for in a honeymoon. Because again, although I say our top destinations are the beach resorts, we have people that come in and they want to do Alaska, or they want to do an extensive trip to Italy and the Amalfi Coast, or Paris, the city of love. So it really does run the gamut, and again, we can plan a honeymoon picture perfect within any budget.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, thanks for being on the show today.